Unfortunately, Friday has become the most dangerous day of the week to be Shia, as terrorist groups have used Friday prayers as an opportunity to take as many Shia lives as possible. This time, a suicide attacker detonated his bomb vest in the Shia mosque of Imam al-Sadiq in Kuwait. More than 20 worshippers were martyred and another 200 were injured in this terrorist attack. This attack was condemned by the Grand Jurist Ayatollah Shirazi in a statement. This statement was followed by another message from different Islamic institutions as in human rights centers, depending on the Grand Jurist Ayatollah Shirazi. I invite you to watch a report about this massacre.
بأمان الله يا شهيد الله بأمان الله يا حبيب الله ننقرر العين يا ناصر الحسين بلغ سلامي لأبي عبد الله بأمان الله يا شهيد الله.
Shia Muslims remain the main victims of terrorist attacks as a part of the 14th century-long oppression against them by extremist groups. In series of recent suicide attacks on Shia mosques, more than 100 Shia worshippers lost their lives, nearly 1,000 were injured. Worries soar high as these suicide attackers, firstly unleashed in Saudi Arabia and Qatif province, have widened their scope of assaults to Kuwait and even Europe. On Friday, June 26th, terror struck the Shia community in Kuwait. During midday prayers, a suicide bomber detonated himself at Imam Sadiq Mosque, killing and injuring many people, among them kids and elderly. This horrific attack occurred. At least 2,000 people were gathered in this mosque. This attack is a part of a chain of terrorist attacks that occurred around the world in other countries such as France, Tunisia, and Syria. Following these incidents, the Grand Jurist Ayatollah Shirazi vehemently condemned this cowardly attack on this Shia mosque in Kuwait, which led to the martyrdom of more than 25 worshippers and the injury of more than 200 others.
In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful, surely we are Allah's and to Him we shall return. In a holy month, in a holy day, and a holy place, the innocent people who were fasting and praying to their Lord were the victims of the criminal hand that has split their blood in the mosque of Imam Sadiq, peace be upon him, in Kuwait. The history has to bear with the shame of this heinous carnage. This is the hand that martyred the best of the fasters and worshippers, the commander of the faithful, Imam Ali, peace be upon him, whom the pillars of guidance were eradicated by his martyrdom on the month of Ramadhan and in the mosque of Kufa. This is the hand that has been involved in the unspeakable criminal acts along the history, which martyred the sons of Imam Ali, the infallible leaders, and the Shias who have suffered oppression in all times and all places. All these heinous crimes and offenses are honors for the oppressed, and nothing but a warning for the oppressors that their end is close. The victory is with followers of Prophet's household, as the Prophet called them parallel to Quran, the Book of Allah, and my household. And I pray to Allah Almighty for the elevation of the ranks of all martyrs, the recovery of all the injured and hurt, and great rewards for the families of these worshippers. I advise all the respected believers, especially the injured nation of Kuwait, to honor the memory of the martyrs as the way deserve. I also beseech the Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the avenger of the oppressors, our master Imam Mahdi, peace be upon him. Verily Allah is near and answering.
In addition, Shia Rights Watch, a human rights organization, has also denounced this unspeakable crime in a statement posted on its website. This human rights center counted these attacks as consequences of hate speeches against Shia Muslims in many Arab states. Shia Rights Watch also added that this chain of terrorist attacks indicates the wide and coordinated network that receives ideological, financial, and media support from monarchies and states who want to further their extremist policies in the region. The center also demanded these governments to reconsider their policies and end their support for these terrorist and extremist groups. In yet another statement, Adam Global Center, another human rights center dependent to the Grand Jurist Ayatollah Shirazi, strongly condemned this terrorist attack and hinted that the extremists and terrorists have transgressed all human and Islamic principles. The center also warned the government of the possibility of such terror acts in Kuwait and other Islamic countries. Moreover, many other seminaries and Islamic institutions dependent to the Grand Jurist Ayatollah Shirazi, such as the Seminary School of Karbala and Seminary School of Rasul Adam in Kuwait, and Imam Sadiq Center in Denmark, released messages and condemned this brutal act and demanded for unity in the face of extremists and terrorists. The American Muslim Society, Imam Ali Center in Washington, Imam Sadiq Institution in Detroit, United States of America, and the International Channel of Al-Anwar were also other Islamic centers dependent to the Grand Jurists who voiced their anger over this atrocious and appalling killing. A few days after this massacre, thousands of Kuwaitis, struck with grief and anger, gathered in the ceremony and honored the memory of the martyrs in this incident. In the ceremony, Sayyid Hussein Shirazi, son of the Grand Jurist Ayatollah Sayyid Sadegh Husseini al-Shirazi, was present and offered his condolences to the families of these martyrs. He also paid a visit to the injured and prayed for them to regain their health. Moreover, there was a big ceremony held at the Grand Mosque of Al-Kabir in Kuwait, which hosted all groups of people and religious, cultural and political figures. Sayyid Hussein Shirazi also participated in the ceremony and sent his condolences to the families of the martyrs. The waves of grief and sorrow for the martyrs in Kuwait incident made Shias in the province of Qatif in Saudi Arabia, which itself was one of the victims of these successive terrorist attacks on Shia mosques, to express their condolences by coming to the streets and holding placards. The pure bodies of the martyrs were transferred to Iraq, where they were laid to rest. This funeral ceremony was accompanied with thousands of people who warmly welcomed these martyrs and chanted their loyalty to their holy leader, Imam Hussein, peace be upon him. Ayatollah Sayyid Murtaza Kazvini also attended this funeral, led the prayers.